These were ice cubes, not 5 minutes ago, mostly. This is sweeting like a horned turd. Salty water. Salty water. Mmm. 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 Okay, so today's drink of choice is the margarita, because it's fucking hot outside. All right. So, cheers. Cheers to the heat wave ending and to our project continuing. Yep. Okay, so we haven't read any actual comments for a few episodes because we've been too wrapped up in the actual process. So, because we've been too way up in here. Whoa. I've been, so. Whoa. So we mean, the question of last time was, should we self-publish or should we publish? And the comments were very right down the middle in regards to, no, self-publish, like, these are the reasons why. No, go the traditional route. These are the reasons why. My favorite comment was from Shinim Shine, who wrote, "What, are you crazy? Take the real publisher." Just bear in mind that this will all end with both of you looking in the fancy mirrors and your Upper East Side penthouse and saying, "Who am I?" But what the hell, mirrors have an off switch. It's called your rich, drunken fist. Well, that is funny. I think this person might overestimate how much money there is in publishing. Yeah, right. I mean, there were some comments that really pointed out that with self-publishing, we don't have to answer to anyone in regards to why we redoing this. Because that was one issue we were finding with the publishing house that did contact us, which was that they wanted us to transform it into something more National Lampoon's parody-like. Like, they kind of wanted, the impression I got was they wanted something more in the vein of Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, where the gimmick is right on the cover. So no one, like there's no confusion as to what this is. And I got several people who actually, who left comments wanting me to clarify that, hey, I make me living as an author. So what I meet the outliers were like, L. James, super blockbuster ones. But, oh yes, there are a lot of people that make their living through self-publishing now. Definitely. And that is very cool. Good on you. I'm jealous. Erin the Red, had some good questions. As she mentioned that the turnaround was long, I agree, but that he told me a year, so I'll but take his word for it. And while part of the experiment was actually taking people through the process of actually getting a book published, that turnaround, and I think self-publishing is a process, too. It's just a different process, but an increasingly relevant one. Especially as if we look at, with self-publishing, though what we'll be able to explore instead is self-promotion. Oh yeah. And what that stuff you have to do now, even if you are traditionally published. You as an author have to, well, if you look at, like, the self-promotion that, Oh, hyperbole and a half is now doing. Ye. Which is hilarious, by the way. Buy my book, or I fill your feed with spiders. But it works. But that's not easy for most people. Ye. It wouldn't be easy form. Ye. Or I'd be like, hey, buy my book, or I'll talk about patriarchy some more. I'll bore you well. I'm trying to give tales. I'll bore you with tales of gender iniquity. So boy our Cthulhu book. And third, this was her very good question. Oh, why did you create Sarah Ellenson? Are you trying to pull the wool over unsuspecting readers? I used to make a statement about how these kinds of books are pastiche. Oh, real literature or something else. And that kind of is cynical. And she makes the case that Nate came the stranger has come and gone. And the point of that book was to point out, like, I'm gonna write the worst book possible and people are gonna buy it. And I'm gonna prove how stupid people are because they bought this awful book that he wrote. Well, why did we create Sarah? It was because we wanted to create a character who would actually write this book. You. Sarah is our author voice, which we kind of had to create in order to figure out what the voice was. And Sarah was very much based on real-life authors like Stephanie Meyer and E.L. James and Colleen Houck, who wrote the Tagger books, and they read all these kind of really insecure women that, like Stephanie Meyer, who she rather go through her emails to delete the Colevi who wrote Tweety well while you were while you while all you while all you while go the good raid fights is what really, we wanted to create a character, a persona that we could use to kind of fight with people who talk shit about our book because this is what happens. This year, this is in this age of instant gratification, social access with the author, this is what we reduced to, talking shit about each other on Goodreads. So Neji came a stranger had its moment, came and gone. Ye. It was. It was more about how stupid people are than what the industry is like. I feel. We put I mean, like as stupid as this project is, we put a lot of thought into it and it was I mean, like while the ruse is fun, it's a joke. It's it's we not gonna, if someone comes on Goodreads, we'll sit here and be like, how you read our book and liked it. Why the they say they bad. Why you why like basically will they I the you why will by now will the like the whole point of the book is, like, we are hyperbolizing tropes that we don't like. So the whole point of Sarah was to basically create a character that is based on the Stephanie Miles of the world, who can't take criticism, but also, like, wear their fantasies on the sleeve. Form it's more about how things become popular, even when people can gather around and be like, yeah, that's not very good. Like The Room, yeah, which is awful, but celebratedly so. Yeah, to me, it was more about isolating the sort of terrible elements that people liked and taking them to their extreme. That was the point of the actual book to me. And in that way, yes, it is definitely a parody and meant to be taken as such, but Poe's Law, not everybody will. Because we read it and we think it's hilarious, but not everyone might. They might think, like you, that would be really hot if he tied me to a chair. But I think the thing about, like, movies like The Room and Birdemic and even Showgirls, like these camp classics of badness, they didn't set out to be that. You. Whereas something like, say, Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein, they read genre parodies, but lovingly so. So I don't really know where exactly we fall because we like fascinated by Twilight and that ilk, but I don't think we fond of it. Ye. But a US we kind of fair. Otherwise we would have given up on this months ago. Ye. It is a much more subtle parody than I think a mainstream audience might go for. But that said, which I think is why Poe's Law is going to play so hard in this one if it reaches beyond you, our viewing audience. Ye. I mean to us. It's super obviously a parody. We shall see if people take it as super obviously a parody. So I emailed him and I basically said, I think we could definitely talk about extending this web series into being something that might be useful to them, and doing a different sort of funny book that is also crowd interactive like our last one was. But maybe not this one, because I think we do kind of want to retain the creative control, and I think people aren't going to want to wait a year. You know, a year from now they'll be like, what? I forgot about that. Ye. And what are we going to sit here and talk about for an entire year? I want me instant gratification. Yes. Dang nabbit. So, I think self-publishing is where it's at. And what that means is we need to have an art contest for our cover, and then we need to do pre-release stuff. We need to release a chapter for reading. Oh yeah, I think. Oh, and did I mention that our friend Sarah now has a website? So you can go onto Sarah's website and see the teaser chapter. I forget which one it is. The teaser. I don't know. Well, I guess you're just going to have to go to the website. I think you're just going to have to go to the website and see for yourself. It's going to be exciting. Yeah. Chapter 6 is great. It's got stuff. Riley. And also we are going to be at Conbravo next week, and we will have a super limited amount of very hastily printed copies of Awoken. So Conbravo, you get to be the first. Congratulations. Congratulations. So keep watching. We will keep people abreast of the progress. We'll also be actually talking to some literary agents on the actual camera, not in letter form. We'll talk query letters in the market and how things are done now and that sort of fun stuff. And of course, we will start an art contest, very much like we did for the Coast Writers within the next few weeks, and then you guys can do a thing, and yes, we will pay you. For we will also we will go away. We will move away. We will away. We will you. Where you will away. Where you will use Yes, yes. You will get paid for your contributions. Tumblr. We pay people. And I look forward to what the future holds for our Frankenstein's monster, Sarah.